Hey everybody, how are ya? Happy Chris and Amanda Day.
Happy Chris and Amanda Day. Chris, we waited too long for this day to come again.
I know it's every single week is it feels like an eternity to get to the point that we're doing the live show on Mondays as we do every Monday. And we have been now sticking pretty true to our 2:15-ish PM time slot, at least for the last bunch of weeks. So we
Yeah.
really appreciate everybody out there who's been catching the live show, participating, commenting, hanging out with us, all the things. We really appreciate each and every one of you. And thanks to everybody who watches the replays and then also listens to the audio feed of the show, which right now we have started dropping season 2 episodes now on the feed. I think the first 3 or 4 episodes of 2022 are up there now, and you can listen to the Chris and Amanda show audio feed anywhere you get podcasts. So we are on all the major places.
I still get excited when I get notifications saying a new episode is uploaded or a short has been added to YouTube or whatever. It's so fun to get a notification about us, Chris.
It is. It's fun to see things about us get notified about us. It's good. It's good. All the us.
It feels good. It feels good. And I gotta say, I'm gonna shout out my mom right now because she's next door at the store and
Yeah.
she brought over my coffee cup full of water because she's like, "You need this." Mom, I do. Thank you. Mom was always looking out.
Mama's looking at. Oop, there we go. There it is. Wrong audio drop.
Mama deserves all of that.
That's it.
So, for those who might be new to our show, welcome. And then for those who are loyal listeners, welcome back. Today, we're going to go to the movies for the second time.
We are for the second time. And according to our data and analytics, Amanda, our songs from the movies, episode 1 that we did in 2021, was actually our most listened to or most downloaded episode of to date of the entire year. And you know, we get some pretty decent downloads, but that one was like, I mean, when you look at it, you're like,
Yeah.
what is this spike? And it's that show in particular. So it's either people like when we talk about songs or movies, or I don't know, maybe we're just really good that day. So maybe there's that too.
I don't know. But like you said, like it would be silly for us not to read those analytics and see a little bit of a clue going, we should do that again. And heavens knows we have plenty of songs we can jump into for sure, like for many
absolutely.
more. And it's still about music, so it's super fun. And this list this week is very different from one another.
Yes, there couldn't be any more opposite from each other, which is the point of the show, giving each other music that we may or may not have heard before. And so this time we are doing it to movie songs that were on some of our featured on soundtracks from some of our favorite films. And in some cases, you know, and one of the soundtracks I gave you in particular, the film is terrible. It's not a good film, but the soundtrack is ridiculously good. It's a fun soundtrack. So in some cases, you've got that where the film wasn't so great, but the soundtrack was really, really good. And thank you, Melissa Stetcher, for checking in and saying you two are really good all the days. Thank you.
We appreciate that. We just had so much fun. So thank you for thinking that about our show. And then today, like, what are we going to do instead of records? Are we going to do like clappers?
We could do clappers. We could do popcorn bags or candy, or you know.
Let's do popcorn. Are you
okay?
Good
Let's do popcorn. Yeah, 5 popcorn buckets.
And are you smelling the popcorn right now?
I do. It is the ultimate weakness. It is. You give me that smell of popcorn, I'm done.
You just walk into a movie theater and it's
it's hits you. It's the greatest smell.
And you're like, you feel like you got the butter all over your oil, like your skin.
It's so oily.
It's already like on and you're like, okay, it's delicious. It's so good.
Yes, butter for sure.
Lots and lots of butter. Like I'm going 2 more pumps, please, after they've already pumped it.
It's a lot of butter.
That's a lot of butter. My arteries. I almost said my carteries.
My carteries.
My carteries really don't like me, but my belly does.
Love that movie popcorn. So yes, we will be rating everything on a sliding scale of 1 to 5 popcorn buckets
Butter.
with butter, and which means one one popcorn bucket rating means it is a complete stinker of a song, and it's a flop. It's a complete flop. Whereas 5 buckets of popcorn means that it is a golden soundtrack and will probably win an Academy Award in our lives, in our hearts, in our ears.
Our ears, and our hearts, and our souls.
Right.
We should create our own awards, and then we can make that come true.
We absolutely can. That would be great. That would be awesome. We should create our own awards.
Buckle up, folks. It's about to get real.
It's happening. I think by the
happening.
end of the year, we'll be giving out Chris and Amanda awards. We'll come up with our own award.
For sure. Well, hey, let's dive right into our list. Let me start with your
Absolutely.
list because I don't know about any of our listeners. I hadn't heard of any of these movies nor any of these songs.
Mhm.
So buckle up, folks.
Oh,
The first song to me was Making Time by The Creation from Rushmore soundtrack.
Mhm.
The second song is Another Body Murdered by Faith No More and BooYa.
And BooYa Tribe.
I disappointed you, didn't I? I should have BooYa'd it.
I was waiting for you to go the
I knew
BooYa
you.
Tribe, but no.
I should BooYa. I'm so sorry. I should have brought it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
From Judgment Night. From Judgment Night. There
From
was
Judgment
judgment
Night.
right there.
Yeah. Once again, an example. Great example. Great soundtrack, terrible film.
And then lastly, State of Love and Trust by Pearl Jam.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
And then you gave me some real rockers this week. So your picks to me this week was Pillow Talk by Doris Day, featured from the film Pillow Talk. Your second one to me was from the film Oh Brother Where Art Thou, which is The Man of Constant Sorrow, performed by the fictional band of the Soggy Bottom Boys. We'll get into this. And Mad World, featured in the film Donnie Darko. And that's the cover by Michael Andrews and Gary Jules from Donnie Darko, which I think I feel like you and I have talked about this before. And I think I was shocked that you were like, I love Donnie Darko. And I was like, wait, what?
It's such an interesting movie.
It definitely is. So we'll get into all the therapy later on when we hear Amanda talk about why she likes Donnie Darko so much.
All right. I'm going to jump right into your number one.
Okay, jump right in. Go for it.
All right. Recapping Making Time by The Creation.
The Creation.
I love the beginning. And I was like, please don't let me down. Please don't let me down. You know, I like to not be surprised. I was like, please don't ruin it. Please don't ruin it. So it started, and then it started with the lyrics and the sound of the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, they nailed it. They nailed it. And so the first thing I thought of after I really I knew I was going to like this song at that time.
Right.
It made me think of the Beatles.
Well, they are an English band. So they came out in 1966. And that song is their best known song.
Okay.
And it was one of the first songs in 1966 that was to feature guitar playing with a bow. Yeah, like a bow. Yeah, so it's like that you hear, when it gets all weird, it's like wow, all psychedelic.
But it is a good kind of weird.
Yeah, no, it's great.
You're Amanda Real are weird. Yeah. So I did look them up because I didn't know when they placed in this world,
right.
like you said, 1966. And so I was not surprised when I saw their picture. I go, they even kind of look like the Beatles.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you're from that era. I mean, it's that's it. That was the look, So very garage mod, just
yeah, just that signature. So I honestly like the tune and the vocals better than I actually like the lyrics, to be honest. But I really like this song. Yeah. The lyrics were secondary to me actually feeling good about the music.
It's a really fun song to play too.
I bet it is.
It is. It's just a straight ahead rock song. It's just great. It's raw. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, and I don't feel like it's that crazy. It seems so much more Well,
Yep.
compared to some of the songs that I got last week, I go, "Oh,
Right.
wow, this is, like, mellow."
I love that crunch though. I mean, that guitar garage rock sound. Oh, love it. I can listen to it all day.
It was good, it was good. So it was a very good song. The lyrics, like I said, didn't, like, impress me too much, but I liked their look, I liked their vocals, and I liked the sound of the music. So, with that being said, I am giving it 4 bags of popcorn.
All right. I
Give it
like
a
that.
lump of butter.
I like that. I like the four bags of popcorn. I think that's a very fair rating. This song, if anybody out there doesn't know, is from the film Rushmore, which was directed by Wes Anderson. One of my I was actually talking to Amanda before we went on. I love Wes Anderson. I'm a huge fan of Wes Anderson's films. This was his second feature film and the one that probably put him on the map as far as mainstream success goes. A lot of notables in this. Bill Murray is in it, of course.
Bill
The Owen
Murray,
brother. You know, you've
classic.
got Luke and Owen Wilson in it. It is a fantastic, phenomenal film. And if you like Wes Humor's brand of quirkiness and humor, if you've never seen it, see it. And the scene where they use this song is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's so great. It's like it couldn't be any more perfect when this song shows up in the film. They used it great.
And I know we talked about this last time in several episodes, not
Mhm.
just about the movie one, but and how like impressive it is when somebody places a piece of music that
Oh
just
yeah.
goes so beautifully with that particular part of the film.
Oh
It's such a genius. I think we'd be good at that.
yes, I think we'd be good at that
Just
too.
so
Just saying.
just saying. So 4 buckets of popcorn. We
Four
got
buckets of popcorn. All right, I will take that for the creation off of the Rushmore soundtrack, Making Time. Let's see. Oh, Chris, you should be friends with Nate. I think Wes is one he likes a lot. Yes. Well, I let's make that happen. Melissa, make that happen.
make it a rain popcorn.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, your next song or your first song to me actually is from the 1959 romantic comedy starring Rock Hudson and Doris Day, which is Pillow Talk as performed by Doris Day. Now, I
Love
love
that.
a lot of the older Hollywood films, especially this era of like the 50s and the 60s. I think it's great.
So
I think they're
awesome.
fun. A lot of the films are, especially the romantic comedy films. I really enjoy them. I think they're great and they're super quirky, as we were just
So
saying.
quirky.
And they just really didn't take themselves all that seriously, but they were fun and the acting
Mhm.
was always great. And they would do a lot of and this is the thing, like, so I'd never seen Pillow Talk. I still have yet to see it. So I want to watch it because what was cool was that I didn't realize. So this song is featured in the opening credits, and this was everything I wanted it to be because this is a thing that I think is a lot of films like, and it's such a product of the era, having like the opening credits and the
Oh,
music, and it's like
yeah.
it goes along. It's almost like a mini music video into the film for the it's great. It's a lot of fun, and it's so like 50s, like such a staple of the time. So I think it's really great. The film also stars Tony Randall, Thelma Ritter, Nick Adams, Alan Jenkins, and many, many more. The film was written by Russell Rouse, Maurice Richland, Stanley Shapiro, and Clarence Green. The film won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, and Doris Day was nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role. And then it was also nominated for Best Actress in Supporting Role, Art Direction, Coloring, Best Music Scoring of a Dramatic Comedy or Picture. So this is the first of 3 romantic comedies in which Doris Day, Hudson, and Randall all starred together, and the 2 others being Lover Come Back and Send Me No Flowers, all of which I haven't seen. I'm
Oh my
like, now
gosh.
I want to watch all these.
Please do. They are so clever, so quirky, like just so fantastic. The duo is just amazing. Rock Hudson and Doris Day are such a awesome combination.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like that's the thing, like the chemistry. That's the only thing I love, that you get these great duos of
Yeah.
actors who just work so well together. And so this is one of these where that chemistry between Rock Hudson and Doris Day worked really well. This is pretty interesting. Just a little bit more about the film, but upon its
Tell me
release,
more.
Pillow Talk brought in a staggering domestic box office gross of $18,750,000 and gave Rock Hudson's career a comeback after his failure of A Farewell to Arms 2 years earlier. But in 1959, to make $18 million, $18.75 million off of that is a staggering amount for back then. I
That
mean,
time.
that is huge. That's a blockbuster. July 14th, 1980, Jack Martin reported Pillow Talk is the biggest hit of 1959 and one of the most important films. It was entered into the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally,
I didn't know
historically, and
that.
aesthetically significant and selected for preservation. Doris Day sings 3 songs in this film: Pillow Talk, Roly Poly, and Possesses Me. So really cool song. I think this is such a great moment of the times, and it's a fun song. And when you watch the opening credits, you can see why the song was a great lead into, like, I'm
Mhm.
sure what other hilarity ensues, which I want to watch. It actually was like I watched that and I was like, I want to watch this movie. So
Oh, it's just
yeah,
and, to think that Rock Hudson and Doris Day did that many films together, like, consecutively, like,
yeah.
that wouldn't be heard of right now.
No, not at all. I mean, not that many. I mean, like we were talking about the Wes Anderson thing where it's like you get like he has these ensemble cast and it's like he seems
Right.
to get the same actors always playing different characters, things like that, because of the chemistry. You've seen it with
Mhm.
Scorsese, you see that a lot. Woody Allen films, he gets a lot of the same similar people, and Mel Brooks, so on and so forth. So you see some of that kind of carry through, but that's it. Once you get that chemistry of people together, like, you want to keep working with them because
Yeah.
you know that they're going to be able to bring your scripts to life. So the song itself, Pillow Talk, fun song. I think it's a great movie song. So I would give it, as far as, listen, it's not original, but I think you hear it, and especially after seeing that opening credits, like, it couldn't be any more perfect together. So I would give this 4 buckets of popcorn for sure. I mean, it's not anything I'm
Mhm.
gonna blast or go to, but, like, as
No,
far
but
as a song from a film goes and, like, how it sets up the film, or brings you into the film, perfect.
I cannot wait for you to watch it. I hope you and
Yeah,
Marisa watch it together because it is just a fun, cute movie, and then circle back with us and see if you rate it higher.
maybe. I just
Hey,
might.
4 buckets, not bad.
4 buckets. Yeah, I like it. It's a fun song. It's very fun. It's super quirky, and it does stick with you. Like, you hear it a bunch of times, and it kinda
Pillow
like,
talk.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's, like, catchy.
pillow talk. It's fantastic. Well, thank you for those 4
Mhm.
buckets of popcorn. Thank you, Chris.
You
All
are
right.
welcome.
So your number 2 song to me, Chris, is "Another Body Murdered" by Faith No More and the BooYa
Booyah
Tribe.
tribe.
So, um, thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, all right. After really enjoying making time by the creation, I have to say, like, I
I'm
didn't
pushing
really
you. I
love
pushed you with this one
you pushed me with this one. But
on purpose.
all I could envision, because we're doing movies, like, you watch those movies and they're doing like a drug bust.
Yeah,
And this is the kind of music that's playing during, like, the drug bust where they're doing the whole scene of arresting people
right.
and that type of thing. So I could see where, like, music like this has to exist because not all, like, movies are pillow talk with a happy pillow talk. Like,
Nope.
we need some, like, real serious, like, stuff to play during those, like, murder scenes or drug scenes.
Yeah, I mean, in this film, I want you to go on, and then I'll fill you in a little because I know you've never seen this film,
I've
and
never
it's
seen this
and by
film.
the way, once again, it is not a good movie. I mean, I'm sure it has its fans out there, but it's tough to watch a second time around. It's
It's
not.
like I expected it. What's that, one movie with Denzel Washington? Training Day. Like, it
Oh,
would be like
Training
in
Day.
something like
Yeah, but
Training
Training Day
Day.
is a good film.
It is a
This
good
is
film,
not.
but I could see this movie being in some of those scenes, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I the name of the band, though, cracks me up too, like Faith No More and the BooYa
Yeah,
Tribe.
so the just to put it in context for you real quick. So this came out in 1993, and so this was a time when you were getting, like, the metal and rock and rap mashups. So this is like Anthrax, Public Enemy had already done, like, their collab together, and it blew up with Bring the Noise. It blew up. Rage Against the Machine was coming on, and they were about to, like, just go explode. And so they came up with the idea for the marketing of this film to be like, it'd be really cool if we did a whole soundtrack full of these collaborations between metal and hard rock and alternative artists with well-known, hip hop stars. And so
Alright.
these every song is a collaboration.
It's like the Super Bowl show right now this year.
It is. Yes, it is. It is like that, but like throw like then like a metal band in there, like
Okay.
and so
Like
this
the
so
perfect
soundtrack has got like
collaboration.
it's got Helmet and Slayer on there and House of Pain and
I'm
Dinosaur
shaking my head
Jr.,
like I
Sonic
know
Youth.
all of those names. I
Yeah.
don't.
I knew you wouldn't. And I knew you probably wouldn't know
Sounds
these
right.
too.
So interesting name though, like very long name.
Yeah.
Like try like
Well, it's Faith No More. That's one band. And a BooYa Tribe is the hip hop group.
Oh, I see. So they're independently together.
Right. So that's the mashup. So Faith No More is a band and BooYa Tribe is the rap group.
Understood now. Mashups always confuse me a little bit. Well, and the lyrics, like, they're just too much. It's like it needs to slow it down so I can understand. Like the pace is just too quick for Amanda. Like I live in a small town. I like to go slow, digest things, and that pace I could not keep up with.
It's a good workout song.
It's I could if I worked out, I could imagine that would be a good
This
workout
is a
song.
good workout song.
But okay, so
Okay.
with all of that, I give it 3 popcorn buckets. I know. I'm like, it doesn't deserve a 2 because I do think it has a place, and movies need this kind of music to settle the score.
Yeah. Well, let me give you the synopsis for Judgment Night. So, a 1993 American action crime thriller directed by Stephen Hopkins, starring Emilio Estevez, Cuba
Oh,
Gooding Jr., Jeremy Piven, and
oh,
Stephen Dorff as a group of friends on the run from a gang of drug dealers led by Dennis Leary,
I
by the
knew there
way,
was drugs.
after they witness a murder.
Now, did I not peg that movie perfectly, Kristen?
So, I mean, and then yes, so soundtrack fits. Well, a soundtrack needs to fit the film, right? Because
It
this is the music
does.
that's in the film
It
or
does
inspired by the film. But in this case, all these songs like appear in the film.
in the film. So, I mean, bravo to them for placing the right music in the right film and making your list, even though you said like the movie isn't that great, but you like the soundtrack.
Soundtrack is absolutely amazing. This is probably on
Mm,
my top 20 list of best soundtracks.
really?
Yes, like not, and I'm not talking about like original scores because I put original scores kind of in a separate category.
Fair,
But as
fair.
far as like soundtracks to a film go, this is like right up there. Like because it's great and it really captures like a moment in time in music culture where this was like, and so you listen back to it, some of it, yes, it can come off a little corny now, but it's still fun to listen to some of these songs and these collaborations because they pretty much did it for this and that was it. Like some of these like never ever did anything like that again. And it does fit the context of the film. I
I believe it.
you should watch the movie at some point. I think it'd be fun for you to watch it, especially having heard like
Marcus
at
is
least
gonna
this
be like,
song.
Amanda, are you doing my research? Like, yes, Marcus, I am.
I am. I'm doing Chris and Amanda show research. I'm watching
Because
Judgment Night.
currently what I'm playing on the TV is Little House on the Prairie.
Reruns.
Rerun. Dun 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 dun. And I tell you, those first couple like seasons, life was hard on the prairie.
That was rough. Yeah, that's a rough show. Let me tell you. They don't hold back.
They don't hold back.
No.
People died. Animals got dead. Like
Yeah.
there's just death, a lot of death.
Yeah, you could have died from anything. Oh, I cut my
And
finger. I'm probably gonna die. Like
yeah, there was just the episode when Ma cut her leg on the wagon.
yeah.
So
And
you're
it
right.
doesn't go well.
It does not.
Spoiler alert. If you've never watched Little House on the Prairie, it doesn't go well.
We are too much. Sorry, I took us down that rabbit hole.
It's all right. It's good. Well, that's the show. That's the show.
That's a show. Oh gosh.
So Judgment Night. So three popcorn buckets
3
for
popcorn buckets.
Faith No More and BooYa Tribe
Oh.
collaboration. Another Body Murdered from the 1993 film Judgment Night. Judgment Night.
And
All right.
just to recap, if people are just hopping on, this is not that we love these
Yes.
movies, it's we like the music within these movies. So
Some movies I love, like,
of course.
but yes, these are we're picking. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's not always the case that the film is good. But we love the soundtrack.
We
But
love
the
the
thing is, maybe we never heard the soundtrack if we didn't watch the movie. So
True. It's that yes, double-edged sword.
Yes, absolutely. And for everybody out there, real quick, I just want to say that as we're doing this, if you feel like you could do better and you can pick a better playlist, well, then you put your money where your mouth is, and you can
Ooh.
commission a show, and you get to pick the songs. All you have to do is use the link in the show notes, and you can go over to our Buy Me a Coffee, where you'll see a little extras tab there, and you can actually commission an entire episode of the Chris and Amanda Show and pick up to 6 songs for Amanda and I to rate, review, and react to. Whatever you want, it's up to you.
I just feel like I'm shocked none of your good friends have done this yet. Just
It could be coming. I'm just could be coming.
It has to be, because they're just going to have too much fun with it one of these days.
It would be a lot of fun. That's all I'm saying. I may commission a show just so
under an alias.
Yeah, under an alias.
An alias. Now that has some good soundtracks to it.
Oh yeah.
That's good. All right. So I have to so what do you think about those Soggy Bottom Boys?
Okay, so let me say this. So I actually was really excited to talk about this because I am a huge Coen Brothers fan. I love the Coen Brothers. I remember when the trailer for this came out for Oh Brother We're Out Thou. So if nobody has seen Oh Brother We're Out Thou, I'll go in there in a second and just let everybody know what it's about. But I was so pumped when this trailer came out. I'm like, this is great. This is like everybody I'd want to see. I think this is, I was really excited for this. I went to go see this in the theater when it came out. So for anybody that doesn't know, just a very quick refresher, and if you haven't seen the film in a while, but basically, Oh Brother We're Out Thou is a 2000 crime comedy drama written, produced, and co-edited by Joel and Ethan Coen, starring George Clooney, John Turturro, and Tim Blake Nelson, with Chris Thomas King, John Goodman, Holly Hunter, and Charles Durning in supporting roles. The film is set in 1937 rural Mississippi during the Great Depression. Its story is a modern satire loosely based on Homer's epic Greek poem, The Odyssey, that incorporates social features of the American South. The title of the film is a reference to Preston Sturges' 1941 film Sullivan's Travels, in which the protagonist is a director who wants to film Oh Brother We're Out Thou, a fictitious book about the Great Depression. Now, I was so excited when I heard that they were doing like basically an adaptation of Homer's Odyssey. I thought that was such a cool idea to do that. And, you know, literally, I feel like the Coen brothers are probably the only ones that could pull off something like this. And this is one of my top films of all time. I think it's a great movie. Every time it comes on, my wife and I watch it. We absolutely adore this film. I think it's fantastic. And one of the marquee moments of this film is the Soggy Bottom Boys, who is the group that basically is on film, consists of George Clooney as the lead singer, one of the members, and the two other actors, John Turturro and Tim Blake Nelson. And so I really I love this. So this gave me a reason to dive a little bit more into like this song. So the song is called Man of Constant Sorrow, just so you know. So on the soundtrack, it's credited to the Soggy Bottom Boys, which is the fictional band in the film. And but the song itself is a real song. It was first published in 1913 by the blind folk singer Richard Burnett. In addition to the Stanley Brothers, who then recorded the song and actually kind of made it a hit. Other artists included were Bob Dylan and Jerry Garcia. The song was then featured in the 2000 film Oh Brother We're Out Thou, and the song relates to the story. The lyrics, "I'm a man of constant sorrow, I've seen trouble all my days," refers directly to the Odysseus. I'm bad with this, and all the troubles he had on his journey home. It's sung by the Soggy Bottom Boys, who's made up of George Clooney, and the real voice that is in the film is Dan Tyminski from the band Union Street, with backing vocals from Harley Allen and Pat Enright, other members of Union Station. Sorry, the band Union Station. And so members of Union Station also played on tracks, Jerry Douglas on dobro, Barry Bales on bass, and Ron Block on banjo. So this song, as far as the recording that you hear, and when you watch the film, that's who's actually doing the recording while, you know, the guys are actually doing the acting of it. But I absolutely love that scene. when they first
Okay.
record it, and then when they have to sing it up at the and the thing is, one of the great gags of this film, I don't want to, if you haven't seen it, you should absolutely see it, but one of the great gags of the film is that they sort of do this to like they're escaped convicts, and they go in to record the song, and meanwhile the entire like little through line of the entire film is that they record the song and it's kind of becoming an underground hit of a song. And by the time they go to this political rally, kind of dressed in disguise as the Soggy Bottom Boys, they go to sing it, and everybody knows the song, and they're like totally freaked out by it.
Oh, I shouldn't say these things.
Oh my gosh, it is like one of the best moments. The look on George Clooney's face when they start to sing it, and everybody like goes nuts, and he's like, "Wait, what?" Oh my gosh, what a great scene and a great song. Couldn't be any more perfect for this film. I give this song, this rendition of the song, this is a 5 popcorn bucket song. It's great. It is great. I can't not hear this song and not think of all that this movie is, and those scenes. So great and perfect. Love it.
It's so clever. It's so two of my favorite like parts, like or sayings in it is like, "I'm a Dapper Dan man." Like I love
yeah.
And then I forget what number it is. It's like, "I've counted to 3 and I said my piece." Like I love I said my piece part. Like I say this to Marcus all the time.
Many good parts in this film. Absolutely. I mean, it's just fantastic. And honestly, if you haven't seen it, and if maybe the Coen brothers aren't your thing, I do recommend this film. I think it's very funny, it's very accessible, and you'll just love it. And this is like, George Clooney still kind of like young in his transition to the big screen. Like he still was like, making that transition from TV to films. And so this was a big role for him to be in this film with the Coen brothers. So
he just nailed it. He nailed
love
it.
this film. Love this film. Really do. I think it's fantastic.
Well, thank you for my 5 popcorn buckets.
You're welcome. And it deserves it. It deserves it because of the reason it is a perfect soundtrack song that brings you right to that. It's such an important part of the overall story, even though it's this like small underlying, but when you get, it's such a big payoff when you get to that point.
It's just a cute movie. Like it'll be over before you realize it. And I promise it'll become a favorite. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
1000%. I'm so glad you liked it so much. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for giving it to me.
Okay, so your last song to me was State of Love and Trust by Pearl Jam. I don't have a lot of notes on this one. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Do you know who Pearl Jam is? Let's start with that.
I do.
Okay. All right. So you, because I got to check sometimes.
For sure.
I got to check.
Sure. So I have 2 notes.
Okay.
On the song, and that's it. One is, I know Pearl Jam is popular, but I don't really care for them.
You know what? And I can respect that because I do feel like they're an acquired taste, I think. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're that hard to get into as far as a rock perspective goes, but I would probably gather, I think I know why.
It doesn't pull me one way or the other, I guess. Like it's just muted in the middle of like no genre, I feel like. That's just my opinion. Okay.
Well, the no genre thing, I would probably just, I'll respectfully disagree on that, just because that soundtrack for that film is like 100% like 90s quote unquote grunge. Like that is, the film is set in Seattle, and it's right in the middle of like what's happening at Seattle at the time. Pearl Jam's breaking big. Smashing Pumpkins are, even though they're not from Seattle, but like that scene of music, and the record is stacked with like the who's who of like sort of the players, whether they're from the Seattle rock scene or from some of the other like, just that alternative, whatever grunge music. I don't know what you want to call it, but that time in the 90s is like is perfect, is captured perfectly on this record. It's soundtrack.
I'm just not like, I just don't love it.
Okay.
And then my other note is you're gonna think I'm nuts, but there was a handful of times during this song that all I could think was like, it sounds like Hootie and the Blowfishes. I only want to be with you.
That is a wild comparison.
I knew it would be.
Only want to
There
be.
was
Well, is it because of Eddie Vedder's voice? Only want to be here with you. State of
I
love and
think
trust.
it has
My
to
terrible
be
Eddie Vedder
because
impersonation.
I like there would be the parts that I go, there it is again, there it is again, and so that was my a second note was Hootie and the Blowfish. All I want to be with you. So I'm
Okay.
probably the only person alive that compares that to that.
I
But
don't know if I'm going to be able to unhear that next time I listen to that song, by the way. So
you're
thank
gonna
you.
you're welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Amanda Sharp, for
So
ruining the song for me.
maybe you should do a reel, and anytime that part's on, you need to go, "All I wanna be with
Only want to be with
you."
you.
I love that I just scarred you. I'm so sorry.
I'm scarred.
I'm so
Scarred.
sorry, Chris.
You're
But,
killing me.
I even though, like, it's not my favorite, like,
Yeah.
it's not a 2 popcorn bucket
Right.
song. It's definitely not. So,
Okay.
I'm only gonna give it 3, and I think you've been so generous with my scores this week, so I feel bad, like, giving this a 3, but I
Don't
feel
feel
like
bad. It is
it's
what
not
it is,
bad.
Amanda.
It
It is what it is.
it is what it is. So, 3 popcorn buckets for State of Love and Trust by Pearl
Okay.
Jam.
Okay. All right. All right. Fine. I still think you should watch Singles. I think it's
I
my
will,
wife.
I
My
will.
wife does not like this movie because she doesn't like any of the characters. She finds all the characters annoying. But I think that's kind of the point. But but then that just knocks her out. She's like, forget it. All these characters are annoying. I don't like any of them. Like, I'm out. But I think you should watch Singles. It's a great
I
movie, and
will.
it really is indicative of the time. And this is actually one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. So, but that's all right. You just crushed me
I'm
because now
sorry.
I'm gonna hear Hootie every time I hear the State of Love and Trust
Hootie just automatically gets more popular.
instantly. All right.
I got someone at
So
the door real quick, so you
let's
talk, and I'll
let's
be
wrap.
ready.
Yep, wrap it up the show. So here we go. Last song for me that you gave to me is Mad World, featured on a Donnie Darko soundtrack. Donnie Darko is a 2001 American science fiction psychological thriller written and directed by Richard Kelly and produced by Flower Films. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Jenna Malone, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Drew Barrymore, Mary McDonnell, and a whole bunch of other people. It just goes on and on. And James Duval. Let's go there. Film is set in October of 1988 and follows Donnie Darko, a troubled teenager who narrowly escapes a bizarre accident and has visions of Frank, a mysterious figure in a rabbit costume who informs him that the world will end in just over 28 days, and Frank begins to manipulate Donnie to commit several crimes. This song is perfect for this film. Whether I don't know if you knew this or not, Amanda, but this song was actually originally written by Tears for Fears,
Yeah.
and this was off of Tears for Fears' biggest record,
Okay.
released in the 80s, and it is a well-known Tears for Fears song. And while the other version is very much more featured synthesizers and percussion and all that, this version is actually way more stripped down and a lot more emotional. I think it
So
totally
good.
fits in with the song, with the film. I will be honest, I've watched Donnie Darko several times. I'm not a huge fan of this film. I know people are like, oh, how could you not like Donnie Darko? But like, it's not a film. I don't know. I appreciate it. I respect it for what it's done in pop culture and especially for independent film. It just doesn't ever click with me. I'm a big sci-fi fan. That being said, though, I think that using this song in the film is great. It works perfect.
Mhm.
I think it's a cool version of this song too. I love the stripped down feeling of it. So I'm going to give this 4 buckets of popcorn because I
Outstanding.
think that this arrangement of this version of the song is great and it fits with the film really, really well. That's great. Soundtrack use of music in a film for sure. Like, love it.
It's just such a good song too, even outside of the movie. I
It
just
is a good song.
love it plays on my Pandora station, Nora Jones. And it's just such a Mad World. It
Yeah.
sums it up right there. It's
Yeah.
just so good. So if you haven't heard that song yet, go to our Spotify playlist and
Yes.
listen to all of today's songs. But I think you'll be very pleased with the selection.
I
It's a
do
little bit of
too.
corn.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. As Amanda said, you can listen to all these songs over on our Spotify playlist. And Melissa Stetcher checking in. Amanda, I'm with you and a fan of Donnie Darko. And I think a little while back, James Scott
Hey,
checking in with
James.
woo hoo.
And Donnie Darko is not like an Amanda film. So
It
it's
is not an Amanda film.
the only reason I've watched it is because Marcus liked it, and I go, "Oh, I like it. It's okay."
Mhm.
It's just very interesting. So,
Right.
thank you for the 4 popcorn buckets. I'll take it.
You are welcome. And so that wraps up our Chris and Amanda Go to the Movies to the sequel. So we'll we'll see how the stats do on this one. And if people still like these, and maybe we'll do, I'm sure we'll definitely do another one before the year's out, because
For
these are a
sure.
lot of fun to do. I love
They are.
going back and re-listening to these soundtracks and reliving some of these awesome film moments and saying, oh, let me share these with you. And it's actually interesting to think about the song, when I give you the song and the film's not attached and you haven't seen the movie. So the
Mhm.
context is a little weird, but I also feel like it's cool because, you get to experience a song and get your feeling, and maybe it makes you want to watch the film.
Agreed.
Much like
Yeah.
Pillow Talk. I mean, I
Oh,
want to watch the film now. I'm
oh
going to
my
watch it.
it's so good, and I don't even know what it's on to watch. Like, I have a DVD of
Oh,
it
I'll find it.
but it's gotta be somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the universe of streaming.
Absolutely, and I
Yeah.
think the first time I watched it, I was at home sick, like, a long time ago,
Right.
like, when I was little.
It looks like that's a good stay-at-home movie, it seems like, that to watch.
It
Like, I'm
is.
home, I'm not
You're
feeling
gonna
good.
love it.
Watch this.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah. So, with that, I want to thank everybody out there for watching and listening to the Chris and Amanda show. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share this show wherever you're watching or listening to it. We are available at all major podcast platforms, wherever you can listen to the show, wherever you can watch the show. We are there. Please come support us. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. We're at the Chris and Amanda show. All the links are in the show notes below. That is it. I had so much fun.
So
Amanda, you're the best. Thank you
you're
for
the
doing the show
best.
with me. You have any final words before we wrap it
No,
up?
this is super fun. I love the selection. Thank you, everyone who tuned in and left some comments. We appreciate it so much. So thank you, and we are already pumped for next Monday.
Boom. That's right. So we'll see you guys next Monday. Make sure you join us live here. We're on Facebook, Twitter, the Twitch, the YouTubes, all the stuff.
All
Just
the
follow
things,
all the
all the
stuff the kids
social.
are on. Yeah, you can follow us and watch us live and participate. So see you guys next week. That's it. I don't have anything else. Goodbye.
And clap.
There you go. End scene.
And scene.